Hi everyone, it's Tuesday night. How are you feeling? Are you sitting comfortably? Then we shall begin. Right, in this video we're going to talk about things that we've learnt over the last year, because it's been about a year since we've had the boat.
Yeah.
We did a similar video about 3 months in, but we've learnt quite a lot since then. Without further ado, when it comes to doing things on the boat, DIY, things that you might think are big jobs, well actually I've kind of realised that nothing's really too big for you to be able to do yourself. And the main reason is because of the internet. Obviously you can research anything and you can become an expert in pretty much any field, and there's always loads of information out there. So although my DIY stuff's not that great, it could be better. I just need to do a bit more research.
And there are also a lot of good advice from the sailing community. What I learned most importantly, I feel it's the time away from social media, which made me more in tune of the present and the natural sceneries, the nature around me. So I think that's really good for my mental health.
Gonna ruffle a few feathers here, but I would say that you don't need an expensive sailing course to become a good sailor. I'm by no means a good sailor. You can learn by doing it yourself. You don't have to spend £1,000 on, say, a day skipper course. It will help, but you can get the same amount of experience just over maybe a longer time, learning yourself or under the guide of a trusted sailor or someone who knows what they're doing. And then adding to that, another point is that if you are going to not take a sailing course and you are going to start doing a lot of the things yourself, then you need to be very careful. You need to be very prudent about the way you do things, because you're not going to have the extra experience, so you need to be a bit more careful, really.
Yeah, safety always comes to first.
Yeah.
I've learned that the excitement of sailing and being able to visit new places always make up for the hardship of the sailing, such as being sick. For me, I have like a bad seasickness.
And the cold weather in the UK.
Yeah, that's true. But it doesn't matter. You will always forget about them.
One thing I learned is that the sea state can change very quickly. I learned that on the south coast when all of a sudden the wind changed direction, the waves started changing direction, but then they started kind of clashing against each other and it made for a really choppy sea. I was kind of expecting the wind change, but I wasn't expecting the sea state to go crazy like that. You know, it was in reasonably safe conditions. It was quite, you were in the bedroom at the time and you were slamming around quite a lot.
Yeah, like a washing machine.
Yeah.
Another point that I've learned is very practical. One is using vinegar and baking soda as cleaning compound. They're very natural and they're very effective. And on top of that, it's that you need to keep things tidy all the time.
Keeping on top of things is very important.
Yeah. Mark has done a so much better job on the boat than in our old house.
Yeah, it's true. Weather reports are generally accurate, I would say 95% of the time. There's been a few times where we've been surprised by either a different wind direction. When we were crossing the English Channel, the weather report was for force 4 or force 5, but it turned out to be force 5 and 6. We got like the radio through the weather report and it was force 6 and we felt it quite a lot. But generally, it's pretty accurate.
And for the ladies, it's very important to remember to wear sunscreens. And maybe the guys too, if you don't want to get
Definitely
old.
guys too.
Yeah.
I've learned that Nadiana is completely unafraid of the sea, is an absolute pirate. A fearless pirate. But she gets seasick.
And people we met throughout the trip are generally amazing and very helpful. However, sometimes there's still some unagreeable people out there, but most of the time,
percentage.
yeah, most of the time it's amazing. Everyone's amazing.
France is more expensive than the UK for pretty much everything apart from wine and baguettes, funnily enough. We found like marina fees are pretty much the same, and the cheapest marinas are in Wales. Seems like the further south you get, the more expensive it gets.
And marinas always have terrible Wi-Fi's.
I've learned that happy wife equals happy life.
I learned not to get too down when bad things happens, because they will always pass. We've learned to oil or grease our toilet pump more often for a lasting pump.
The less time spent fixing your toilet, the better for everyone. Battery banks are super duper useful. For example,
Dun dun!
we got these fat ones from my brother because he crossed the Sahara Desert whilst kicking a football. Maybe there'll be a clip of that over this video. And he used these and he gave them to us. Basically, it's like a really hefty power bank and it's got its own little solar charger, which is super cool.
I learned to use quick drying towels. They are really good because they don't sink and they dry super fast. Perfect for
This
sailing.
lifestyle,
Yeah, sailing. So
they're like the microfiber ones. Really, they're not as comfortable, I don't think, as a regular bath towel, but they're super duper better in every other way. We learned to make our own treats, such as cookies
and caramel popcorn
and pancakes.
and banana cakes.
Yeah. You learn to be very resourceful with your cooking ingredients.
Because of the fact that we don't have a fridge, so you can only keep a certain ingredients, so you have to be creative.
It's not all sunshine and roses, is it? No, it's not. That's what I learned. I think we both learned that.
Yeah.
Being not trapped in such a small space, but being in such a small space means that you can get irritable, sometimes argue.
Yeah.
It happens.
But I think we're still a good team because we didn't tear each other's face off yet.
Not yet.
One of the bad things that I've learned is that slipping on these cushions or rebirth or cushions that have gaps between them cause me back pains and shoulder pains. I don't know if it's true to everyone, or maybe it's just me, or maybe because of the seating position. So sometimes I get back pains, so I have to keep up with it, like minding my posture and stuff. Let me know I'm not alone.
And the final point is that our subscribers are amazing. We get so much pleasure out of talking to you guys. Like, you give us so much great advice. A lot of you send us stuff. A lot of you are so generous in many ways. So you guys keep us going a lot of the time. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
So thanks for watching the video this week. The weather's not been very good today. It's been raining all day, so we basically thought we'd do something like this. We wanted to do something like this for a while, kind of following on from the previous video that we did. So let us know what you've learned if you're in a similar situation to us, and let us know what you think that we're in for.
Yeah.
And what things are we missing, and continue to give us all that great advice too. So
See you next week.
bye bye.